morning to another episode of Bold Boulder with Travis Robinson.
And Alan Goya.
The Smith Center, not the Las Vegas Smith Center, but Boulder City's own Elaine Smith Center here in downtown Boulder. And I'm here with Chief Will Gray and Jill from the Parks and Recreation Department.
Good morning.
Julie.
Oh, Julie.
Julie Calloway.
Yes.
Yes, the last name, Calloway. And we're just talking about, this is kind of an amazing thing. So this is our own community's effort to vaccinate our population here. And, let me tell you what the Chief Gray kind of explain what we have here.
So the process is set up so that we can do currently, it'll allow us to do 1,200 vaccinations a day. We have a little capacity 1,200 vaccinations a week. We have a little capacity we can increase if we need to. So basically you would call Parks and Rec, and Jimmy can talk about that process to get started.
All right.
So what we are asking people to do is if you are currently in this tier, and that would be individuals that are 70 and above, and you are a Boulder City resident, call the Boulder City Parks and Recreation Department. We are not actually scheduling appointments at this point, but we are starting our callback list, and we will be calling individuals back that are in that tier group of 70 or above, and we are putting them on a list, and we will be contacting people in the order the calls have been received, and we'll call you back once we are scheduling appointments. So just be patient with the phone lines. We're making every effort to pick up those phones as fast as we can and get all of our residents scheduled for a vaccination as soon as possible.
Awesome.
Right, so right now the group that is currently eligible are 70 or above, and what else?
So right now we're doing 70 and above and educators.
And educators.
70 above and
So the
educators.
state came out with a set of guidelines. There's tier 1, which is your first responders, your hospital workers. Those have primarily been taken care of in our community. And then we moved to the 2-lane system.
Okay, so most of our healthcare workers, like yourself, your staff, and the police department have at least gotten their first
Yes,
shot.
police and firefighters and hospital workers that were interested in getting the vaccine have already received the vaccine. At least the first dose. The second doses are happening right now.
Right.
And so once this is completed, and now we've moved into those lane systems. So lane 1 is age-based,
Okay.
and age two is work-related. So the first bucket in lane 1 is 70 and above. So
Gotcha.
that's what we're focused on right now. And then we've been also trying to hit our Clark County School District that live in Boulder City or work in Boulder City. And so we've been working through those two groups. We don't know how long it'll take for those. We're going to go based on demand. So when we start to see the amount of calls come in from those groups decrease, we'll move to the next group. The other thing that controls when we can vaccinate is supply.
Gotcha.
So nationally, there's a supply shortage or a supply issue, and they're working on that. And so here in Boulder City and throughout Clark County, we are ready to vaccinate as many people as we can get vaccines. And so that's really where the slowdown is right now. We anticipate in the next few weeks that should be fixed, because that's what we're being promised. And as that gets promised, then we're hoping to do at least 300 a day here, Monday through Thursday. And then when it comes time to second doses, we can be able to increase that capacity, so we're not going to shorten the first dose people.
Right.
Nice.
The other thing that is subject to change is right now we have 2 vaccines out. The Pfizer, you get 1 shot, and then 21 days later you get your second shot. Moderna, you get 1 shot, and 28 days later you get your second. That vaccine changes based on availability. So originally, we've been doing Moderna. We were supposed to switch to Pfizer this week, but they were able to give us Moderna. So again, it's totally dependent on the supply chain.
Right.
So there may be some changes in your scheduling. You just need to be flexible with it.
Gotcha.
So you guys will keep track of what vaccine, if I get a vaccine, you'll keep track of which vaccine that I've taken?
Yeah, correct. So you'll get a vaccination card from the state. We'll give it to you here, and on it says what vaccine you got, and it'll have the return date. So we'll schedule that return date at the same time you're here.
Yeah.
So it'll be on your card. It's like a reminder card.
Yeah.
So,
Gotcha.
Yeah. I want a sticker. Can I get a sticker like I vote a sticker?
I got stuck.
Get on that. Get on
I
that.
got stuck in BC. I want the T-shirt
Exactly.
or something like that.
So what's the number that people can call?
So the phone number for Boulder City Parks and Rec is 702-293-9256. And I just want to reiterate that right now it's going to help out immensely if it's only those individuals that fall into the current tier, which is 70 or above, and educators. That's who we're concentrating on right now. So if you are not in that tier group, We know that you're anxious. We know that you're ready. Just be patient so that we can get the first tier in so that we can open up the lanes and take your call.
Right.
Awesome.
Maybe you could show us how this whole process is working. Can you walk us through? I know you're busy right now.
Fine.
Okay.
So you come in the front door, obviously. Our first
Right
desk,
there's the front door here.
yeah.
There they come. There's some customers coming up the
Our,
front.
our first desk is the registration desk, and that's where, when you called into Parks and Rec and you filled out your application, they'll have that form there.
Okay.
Then you move over to these desks here, and the people working at these desks will help make sure your paperwork's filled out properly and signed. There's 2 releases you have to sign. One is a liability release, and one is a HIPAA release, which is a privacy information. You'll sign that on a little tablet, and then you'll move over to the chairs. When you get seated in here, they will actually come in and get you one at a time. We have 2 rooms with 2 vaccinators in each. They'll bring you in and sit you down. The medics inside the room, the paramedics, will go through that list with you to make sure one more time that you've properly checked all the right boxes, that you don't have any allergies, that you haven't already received a different vaccine. They give you the injection, and then you come back and sit for 15 minutes. And so the manufacturers, the same as flu vaccine, when you get a shot, they always want to watch
Yeah.
it for 10 or 15 minutes. So we watch them for 15 minutes. As soon as your 15 minutes are up, you're released to go, and then we'll see you again in 21 or 28
28
depending on
days.
the vaccine.
Wow, it's amazing.
It
So
takes
what-
about 30 minutes from start to
30
finish.
minutes?
Yeah.
And what do you have to have? You have to have an ID, obviously.
We're asking for an ID. Yeah, so an ID, and if it's a work group, so like if it's the teachers, they need to have a Clark County School District ID showing where they work, and so we can confirm that. And the reason for that is right now there's a lot of demand for the shots, and so there's a lot of people that are coming through saying, you know, not necessarily here, but nationally they are or they're not, and to honor those systems that we're put in, we make sure that we can validate them with an ID.
Very good.
Obviously, if you don't have an ID, still come. You know, if you're in that group, we'll figure out a way to get you validated.
And you should bring a mask, right?
Yeah, everybody should have a mask. If you did
mask,
show up without a mask, we do have some extra masks at the front. So yeah, you can't come in without a mask. So
Can't come in without a mask.
we've
All
got
right.
everybody socially distanced. We're actually cleaning the chairs after everybody leaves. We do them in waves of 50. And so when this first wave will get done at the end of the hour, we'll clean it off. And so we'll be ready for the next group. The
Good deal.
building's sanitized every day before people show up. So we've got all of the CDC recommendations in place.
Right. And so this is like Monday through Thursday, right?
That's what we're scheduled for tentatively. Again, it totally depends on vaccine.
Right.
So but that I would just have people call Parks and Rec.
Right.
Parks and Rec
Don't
will
come.
manage
So
your schedule.
don't come here.
Yeah,
come
nobody gets
Smith
put in that shows up here. You have to go through the system.
You have to go through the Parks and Rec.
Have to go through the Parks and Rec. Call the number. Post it in the comments.
It's like soccer camp, you know. Well, that's great. Hey, I know you guys are busy in your line here, and thank you, Lisa, and everything. And
Yeah.
you know, we'll be, just giving regular updates, and especially I think when the criteria changes, we'll be here and try to communicate, and everybody works together, and let's get Boulder City vaccinated.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome. Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thanks for-
And just a little plug, bcnv.org/COVID-19. All of the information that you need is on our website. You can also follow our social media platforms. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and of course on Facebook. We're keeping everything updated there. So if people are concerned about when their tier might be happening, it'll be on there as soon as
All right.
the tier opens up.
Awesome.
Well, thanks very much. Hey, everybody, let's get all vaccinated.
Let's get vaccinated.
Normal.
The herd immune.
Let's get the herd immune, have some parties and hug and kiss and all that kind of stuff that we used to do.
All right.
Old Boulder episode. What episode is this?
I don't even know. We're up there. Bold Boulder.
Old Boulder.
Thanks, guys.
You guys.
I fucking hit finish.
Guys,